Welcome, everyone, to another fantastic episode of the Team Lead Talks podcast. I'm your host out of Alexandria, Virginia, Andrew Becker. On this episode, twice in the last 2 weeks, I have Martine Richardson back. She's a coach from the Freedom Inc. Welcome, Martine. Good to see you again.
Thank you for having me on. And I mean, you just can't get enough of me. You keep inviting me to all of your things.
You just keep popping back up on the calendar, and I'm like, oh, cool, let's do it. Yeah, Martine. So we had a really amazing conversation last time on our live. Now we're having you on the podcast today. For those who might not have caught that live last week and don't know you yet, give us a high level 80,000 foot overview of what you do and who you help.
Sure. So what I noticed is that most professionals, they work really, really hard, expanding their careers, making the most income, getting to the next, tax bracket, even though you don't say that, but you're making more money, you're going to the next tax bracket. But they don't really have anything for themselves. Like they're helping build someone else's business. Maybe they're passionate about that, but like they haven't built any wealth, a legacy for their family. So I help them using my freedom funding formula, and it helps them buy their first rental property in less than 90 days without using much of their capital, or even if they don't have a clue how to do it.
Very cool. So this is a program for like newbies, novices who know about real estate and how powerful that can be to build equity and build that legacy that you're referring to, that might not be in real estate yet or just thinking about getting into real estate, and you kind of help take them from like, cool, I've made this decision to either do it part-time or full-time, but like, where the heck do I go next? What do I do?
That's where right. So like, I really work well with people that have, like you said, decided that they want to do this. They want to be all in, but they just don't really know how to do it. So they just need a proven plan to follow so that they can, achieve all the things that they want to do in real estate.
Very cool. So Martine, that's an excellent program for someone that wants to get into real estate. But let's talk about you for 1 second. Like, how did you learn it? How long have you been in real estate? And what tactics can you share on today's call about how to get that momentum going?
Right. So for me, I've been doing this for 12 years now. I've closed on over 100 properties, and I've used little to none of my own money on every single one, believe it or not. So it makes it that like this is kind of second nature to me now. So it feels really good to help other people do it. I'll give you an example of somebody that I've helped so you can kind of get an idea what it looks like. So it's a guy, a client that I have, and he had a background in banking. He was a manager in banking. In his words, he was the man in there. Like he knew how to do this like the back of his hand. Like he wasn't being challenged anymore. Like every problem they had, he knew the solution. And he was okay with that, but he wanted more. Like he's married, has a daughter. He wanted to build something for his family. So I don't know if people that are listening, if they've ever been there before, but you're working at this place that, it's not even like challenging you anymore. You feel like you were destined to do more with your life, and you want to build wealth. You want to build legacy. You want to build that stuff for your family. So he decided that he was going to start buying rental properties, and he did it the best way he knew how. So he got a loan, like a regular bank loan. I think it was a new build if I'm not mistaken, but he ended up getting a rental property. He got a tenant in there, and he's cash flowing like almost $1,000 a month off of that, just one tenant, right? And this is like without me. He did this on his own.
Yeah, not bad.
And he was like, man, I need some more of these. Where he kind of struggled was that he didn't know how to scale. He didn't know how to get the next one and the next one without having to put large down payments down, or like he just didn't know how to do it. So I don't know if you're like this, Andrew, but I know sometimes, I'll hear somebody that's a coach or a mentor, and I'm like, yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll do it on my own. So that's what he decided to do. He said,
no, I mean, I certainly have been there in the past before. I realize the importance now of, if I wanted to get into it and I didn't know anything about it, someone like you to help me like go from 0 to 90 days and have my first one. So super important there to be around people that have been there, done that, Martine. One thing that was interesting in that first purchase that this banker got was you just said he did it the way he knew how, and he saved up for a down payment. And most of the time, obviously, there are different products out there, but that's like a 20-25% investment property down payment. So that could be a considerable amount of money that you have to fork over. Number one, save up, Martine. Number two, then deploy into this one property. But you teach people, I love what you said at the tail end of that, how to scale effectively and efficiently. So it requires less of their own capital to purchase, property two, three, four, however many that they want to purchase.
Right. And I definitely want to, I guess, share more about his story because he did it that way. He was like, I'm going to go to YouTube University. I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to research on my own how to do this. And a lot of the times you start researching on your own and you get more confused trying to
Yeah.
figure it out than you would have if you would have just followed one person, because we all do this a little bit differently. So, like, if I try to blend Martine's method with somebody else's method, it may not give me the desired result that I want because we do things a little bit differently. So, he did that, got more confused than when he started. And then he decided that, I'm just going to go all in and follow a proven plan. And like, this is during the holidays, people are enjoying their Thanksgiving, their Christmas, they're taking time off, the kids are home, all that stuff. He
Yeah.
closed on his first rental property. Well, not the first rental property, but another rental property.
With you.
Yeah, with me.
Yeah.
In 92 days. This is with him taking days off.
Yeah. Very
92
cool.
days. He got $70,000 in equity in that property when he closed. Prior to that, he was buying stuff at retail. So, like, even if he were to put 20% down, he didn't know how to get the 20% back because he bought it at retail.
And he was buying his equity at that point and deploying the capital that he may or may not have for future purchases.
Correct.
Yeah.
So he ended up buying this property, had $70,000 in equity when he bought it. He actually did pay money for it, which I'm like, we're not doing that for the next one. But he paid $3,000. Not a lot of money. But he paid $3,000, and that property is going to cash flow $4,800 per year. So that's over 160% return. Wow, he's already built it. He got equity from the purchase. And that's just him starting off. And what I've noticed is that once people get their first one like this, that's like when you really get like the bug. It's like, oh man, I need to get another one. I need to get another one. Like, it becomes a little addicting. Like, to the point that I don't just coach, I still do this. Like, I have a closing today. Nice. Because it's just so fun. It's like, oh, let me put the deal together. Look at how much money it can make. Look at all of this equity we're going to build in. And, it becomes fun. Like, it's like I'm playing, what is it, cash flow quadrant in real life. Playing Monopoly in real life.
I'll argue it becomes very fun when you do it at an optimized level that you've been able to help your students do it at, where it's like, man, I can't buy one a year because of like the money that I have to save up and then rinse and repeat. But you teach them how to do it. You mentioned and joked about he had to put up $3,000 of his own money, which is super insignificant, but like let's talk about that for a little bit. You mentioned earlier you help people obtain these properties or acquire the properties at very little to no money. How's that second latter part actually play out in real life? And can you expand on that, what you mean?
So that's a great question. And I really want to emphasize like what I'm about to say, because a lot of people get this part wrong. They think that they need to save a lot of money so they could buy rental properties because they have all these expenses. They have to pay this 20% down. We need to save for maintenance. We need to save for this and that. But really, you have a structuring problem. When you know how to properly structure these deals, you can put money on the deal that makes sense for the person that's lending to you. So like, for instance, we use private capital a lot. And even if you don't know anybody with any private capital, we show you how to do that. We put the money on there so that it makes sense for someone to want to lend. Like, I don't know if anybody's listening has ever heard of people wanting their money to make money. Like, I feel like that's the goal for most of us. You want to put that money to work. So we show you how to get that private capital so you can put it to work, but it has to make sense. So like, if I have a property, right? And let's just do for easy numbers, the property's worth $100K. Not not going to borrow 100K in private capital because that doesn't make sense for the person. That's too risky. If you don't do what you say you're going to do, they will actually lose money because they are putting money on a property that is worth the same amount as their money. But if I were to do a deal and the house is worth 100K and I'm getting 60,000 in private capital, now their 60,000 is on. Okay, so it's like, oh, I have an upside here. So like, even if Martine didn't do what she says she's gonna do, because we always want to look at this at worst case scenario, even though we're hoping for the best, we want to put our whoever we're working with in a good position that they will make money no matter what we do. So that's how we're able to do that. We have to get assets that are worth more than what the actual money is worth.
Very cool. So for those listening, Martine, that might not know what private money is, you refer to private money. Can you explain like what that is and who these people are?
Yeah, so it's really just me going up to my friend Andrew and saying, hey, Andrew, I got this smoking hot deal. I'm looking for 60K on this. I can give you, 10, 15, 12, whatever number you want percent on your money. Is that something you're interested in doing? And a lot of people are looking for these opportunities. So it just allows them to be able to get in this game and allow them to their money to make money without them having to spend a lot of time doing this. So it's really just everyday people. And I know like something I kind of struggled with when I started, I'm like, but I don't know any people with money. But eventually when you know how to go to the right circles, you find the people with the money that are looking for these opportunities. So that's all. I mean, that's all it is. It's just people that you have a relationship with and you help them make great returns on their money.
Yeah, I love how you talk about the structure of things too, because I'm assuming that's a very important part of that conversation. When you first is like, man, who do I know that has money? Okay, here's the list. Then you start reaching out and you help them go to these people and say, hey, here's an opportunity. And it makes sound like it's a sound decision based on your structuring, not just me saying, hey, can you lend me this money to buy a house? And you're like, well, what does that mean? How does it work? And I might not know how to have a good conversation. And then I'm like, yeah, Martine, like I'll call you back. Right. Sounds interesting. Click. Like, and then no intention. But how important is that like setup in the conversation with these private money loans?
I think it all kind of boils down to how you position yourself. So like, yeah, you have to know how to structure, but you have to know how to position yourself as well. Like you can't go into this like, hey, please give me some money or I can't buy this house. No, you need to show people that whether you lend or not, I'm buying this house. Like I don't usually say, well, if you were to lend me this money, maybe we'll close on Friday. No, I'm closing on Friday, and you can decide to get on the train or get left. Like that, you have to position yourself as an authority. You know what you're doing. You're the subject matter expert. And I know, like, coming in, it's a little difficult to do that. You're like, but I don't know what I'm doing. But you learn how to do it as you're going. Because a lot of people think, well, I need to, do all this studying and I need to know every single real estate investor term before I even, call a seller or, talk to somebody about using their money. And you really learn by doing. So like me as a coach, I'm here to instruct you, but you really learn in the field. Now, we'll prepare you so you're not making like huge mistakes, but you really learn by doing here because that experience is just the best teacher. And we can't make a simulation of everything that may happen while you're on this journey. We equip you with the tools so that you're able to get through whatever happens. You come up with solutions, you're a problem solver. But yeah, you learn the most while doing. And one thing I like about real estate, to be honest, I love about real estate, is that while you're learning, you're making money.
Yeah.
What? Used to pay to go to college.
I know, now it's returning to you. I love that.
It's like, oh, well, I could have done that differently, but I still made like 40K. So like, how bad was it?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you got to get those at bats. I mean, with anything you do, whether it's a new job that has nothing to do with real estate, or it happens to be real estate going through the Freedom Inc. program that you guys have, like you can only get so prepared. Like we have a coach, Tom. he always just tells us what, like, it's never going to be perfect. Just go out and have those conversations
Progress
from
back
us to them. And
perfection,
then,
baby.
yeah, and then you'll get better and better the more reps and the more at bats that you have. So I love like the concept of this coaching, not only from like you're going to learn much quicker and faster, but then you have someone that's like, hey, Martine, I'm going through this thing. Like, can you help me? You're not just trying
Right.
to figure it out on your own. So you have that sense of community as well. So I'm all for it. I love this kind of stuff. Just like you talk so passionately about it, I love real estate too, just for that
Mhm.
very reason that you just said. You're teaching people, and how cool is it to see your students like call you and say, hey, I got another one. Hey, I got another one.
Right. And I noticed that that happens more frequently once you close that first one. So that's why I really focus on you getting that first one done as soon as possible, because I know it's going to really start to unlock for you. Like, I have another client that he didn't know anything about real estate. Like, he's a finance guy, numbers guy. I'm talking to him about this is the people business. He's like, yeah, yeah, whatever. What are the numbers?
Yeah.
And he didn't know anything about real estate, how to structure deals, about using private capital, none of that stuff. And he hasn't even been doing this a year yet. And he has $2 million in real estate
Man.
just by taking the step of
Yeah.
following the proven plan, being, just trust the plan, keep going. It's worked for so many people. And then just to kind of touch on what you said, Andrew, man, this was fun. Like when I started and I gained financial freedom, and I'm like, wow, this works. This is amazing. It's kind of like, finding out the good news. Like, I can't keep this to myself. I need other people to know this too, because they want this as well. But it's a different kind of feeling when you see your proven process work for other people. You see
Yeah.
it change their life. You see, like, I have people that they're brought to tears because they wanted to do this for so long and it wasn't working for them. And
Hmm.
then they hopped in and they learned this process. They worked on the things that they needed to work on. And now it's happening for them. And like they're closing on deal after deal after deal. And I noticed that happens once you close the first one. So I have to focus on you getting that first one.
That's that momentum build. Martine, this is so cool. I love your passion for this. And it's really cool to see your students succeeding like they are already. If someone out there is listening and they're like, man, I'm on the fence, I'm not really sure, but I want to figure this out. Like, how does someone reach out to you all and have that first conversation?
Well, I have something for the people that are listening. If you want to learn that exact process, so I told you about the guy. It took him 92 days to buy his first deal. He spent $3,000 to get 70K in equity, 800 passive income each year. If you want to learn that exact process, I want to invite you to join my free Facebook group. It's called The Freedom Inc. I asked you 4 questions, so make sure you answer those questions, but we'll approve you to come into the group. And once you're in the group, we give you a welcome message, and basically we'll invite you to our masterclass. And the masterclass is going to show you exactly how to do that. And that's also free as well. I just want to show people what's possible for them. I want to show you that you don't have to continue to sit on the sidelines. You can get into this game. The only thing that's really holding you back is your decision to do it or to not do it. And if I could say one more thing, and I don't know if you're going to ask me more questions because I'm not sure how long the podcast is, but your indecision to make a decision is keeping you in the same spot. So your indecision is a decision to keep you in the same spot. No one had success just fall in their lap unless, mommy and daddy had a lot of money and they just left it to them, right?
Right.
But success doesn't fall in people's laps.
Yeah.
Success is worked hard for. It's you doing small things every single day that compound to get to where you want to be. So just know that even if you decide that I don't want to make a decision, your indecision is still a decision to stay where you are.
Yeah. I love that. I was going to ask you one more question, but I feel like that's really good to end on, Martine. Just one other administrative thing. If they are interested in this, should they comment maybe freedom in the comments below and then you can reach out to them?
Yeah, that's awesome. You could put freedom and I'll reach out to you and show you the link. I'm not sure if this has show notes or not, but if you have show notes, you could put the link so they could just join directly. Whichever way works for me.
Very cool. Yeah, and we will, when this episode does air and goes on YouTube, or publish, I should say, we'll include all of this in the description with our show notes and everything. But for now, if you're listening, comment Freedom and Martine will reach out and give you all the awesome bonus free stuff that she just talked about. Martine, so good to see you again. Thank you so much for coming on, and have a good rest of the week.
All right, you too. I'm happy that I've been on here with you. If I could leave your people with one last thing, when you do join the group, let me know that you came from the Team Leads Talks podcast so I can give you the royal treatment. If you want the royal treatment, make sure you let me know you came from here.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, and we will chat again soon, I'm sure.
All right, see ya.
Bye-bye.